Got a special guest. We got Thomas Ashman.
Hey guys, great to meet you.
You train for this, like by what you do, right? Like,
Main thing I do is the Dragonslayer training, which is great because it really does encompass everything that I kind of stand for as an athlete of just like being able to do weirdly strong and athletic.
Earlier, you mentioned martial arts.
So I've been doing martial arts since I was 4, and I've been training with weapons pretty consistently since I was about 15.
If you had to choose one, who would it be?
One character that I'm like, this is the person who like inspired me was probably Baki.
yo, 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 what is up? Welcome to the podcast. We got another special episode. Got my partner Louie with us again, and got a special guest. We got Thomas Ashman of Ashman Athletics with
Hey
us.
guys, great to
Yeah,
meet you.
yeah, glad to have you on, man. Definitely, you are doing a lot of cool things, like in the athletics fields. Bringing nerd culture together with athletics. Would love to hear more about that. And then also, you just participated in the Hunter exams. I definitely got to hear about that. Like that, I didn't think that was going to be a thing that would happen or work out at all, but it sounded like it was a great experience. So, would love to hear your takes on all these.
Yeah, the Hunter exams were surprisingly phenomenal. Like, it was a really, really great event. Everything from just the community of people that they brought out and the vibe that was created to honestly the logistics of what those two brothers pulled off, given the resources they had. As someone who's done events set up myself and been going to conventions and events, for well over a decade, it was very impressive.
Yeah, so tell us about this. I remember like from the show Hunter X Hunter. I can't stop saying the X sometimes. I have to
That's
train myself.
talent, man.
Same.
I know, I know.
Over here.
I'm crazy for it. I've learned to not say the X, but it just feels a little wrong in my opinion. So, but I'll do it. Hunter Hunter, right? So in Hunter Hunter, right? Like they have like a exam that like designates like the elite, I guess, like of the fitness world or like a um, physical world. I guess. Can you like tell us more information about this?
Yeah, so the whole idea of like the Hunter organization is it's just taking people who are just excellent at a skill set of both physical and mental traits that would make them capable of being a hunter. And in the world of Hunter x Hunter, there are, magical beast, uh, just the laws of physics are different. Magic is a big factor in the world, and Nen and all these things. So being someone who's capable of moving in a world of magic where like modern technology is not the most powerful force, but like these forces of magic are, it's basically an elimination process to see who's just an excellent enough person to be a part of said organization.
Okay, I like that, and it's crazy that they brought like a real world, um, I guess adjacent to it, right? Like did it match up to like what you thought it would be? Like, because I remember hearing about it online, and I was like, this doesn't sound like it's real. But then you hit me up, and it was just like, no, this was dope. And also, how far did you get in this exam too?
So I made it to the finals.
Wow.
And up until the finals, I think I was doing really good. Like at no point did I feel like I was going to get eliminated in any of the challenges. Werewolf was definitely a little like on the ropes. We did kind of win by the skin of our teeth there. But the finals is really the only part that I didn't feel fully prepared for. And I think I was expecting something that would much more mimic like a one-on-one combat. So when it was like tug of war and then a memory tile game, I don't think I was as prepared for that. And that's where I lost.
Got it. Can you give us like a breakdown of like the exam, like the phases
Yes.
leading up to the
So
finals?
the first phase of the exam was the endurance test. So that was a run. They had us do 8 miles. And everybody who did not finish within the first half of contestants was immediately eliminated. So they had a guy with a clicker going, just counting all the people. And when they got to, I think, like 300 something, they just picked a rope up and everybody who reached the rope. They said, you're out. The second game was kind of a free for all capture the flag, which they improvised kind of on the spot. So they tried to do assassin first, which I think Assassin's like the fourth test in the actual Hunter exams. I think they should have kept it that way because it was really hard to organize 300 something people running Assassin, and they did run into issues with that. So initially, they were going to have it be the exact same way where everybody gets like a football flag with your number on it, and you got to capture 3 flags or your target's flag. they realized very quickly they had way too many people to pull that off. So they just said, your flag is worth 3 points, everyone else's flag is worth 1 point, and you need 4 points to pass. Have fun. And they did it in 4 heats of 70 people. And the way that ended up working out was about 99% of people who passed that won within the first minute of their heat. They grabbed someone's badge and they got out of there. And then the remaining like 4.5, 5 minutes were just, 50 something people running around trying to steal, like 2 or 3 flags amongst themselves. So no one really passed if they didn't pass right away. With the exception of, I think, 1 or 2 people actually like got their flag stolen and then stole 4 flags and made it out. Which out of like 150 people, those are not good odds. So then the third phase was Labyrinth and Ninja Warrior, and they had people do an escape room. They had a split up, and half the people went into escape rooms, and the other half went to do like a Ninja Warrior course. The escape rooms kind of fell through because people were watching the live stream, seeing what the answers were, and then when it was their turn in the escape rooms, they went for it. So they just made everyone go into the Ninja Warrior course. The cutoff time for that was 45 seconds. Whoop, sorry about that.
All good.
I got it in 43.89, so I just barely made the cutoff for that.
Wow.
And that cut it down to, I think, about like 45-ish people. And then they had us play Werewolf. And I think they should have done like the mental games sooner, because I think that would have made the Ninja Warrior and Assassin more interesting, because you would have eliminated a lot of just like the strictly athletic people and then had those 2 games involve a lot more strategy. But I think they're gonna kind of learn from that moving forwards. But yeah, Werewolf was intense. You're familiar with the game, right?
That's
Yes.
like the group game, like where
Yeah, everyone
like
sits in a circle. You have the people running the game. Everyone's given a card that tells them their role. I was given the role of doctor, so I was picking a
ooh,
person to save every night.
uh-huh.
Which I think, with the exception of one night, I picked myself every night,
Okay, yeah, I'm about to say like how often do you pick yourself?
every time. And they tried
Yeah.
to kill me at least like 3 or 4 times. The werewolves tried to kill me on the first night, and I saved myself. So I immediately knew, like, okay, they're targeting me. And I think
Yeah.
because I was like doing like, I guess, like influencer stuff with the Hunter organization, they already knew me as a target. And from the start of the werewolf game, I was already like just talking because I know how to win that game because I played it at summer camp growing up. So I was telling people stuff. So they saw me as a target and immediately picked
Too
me. So
smart. Yeah.
very glad I got Doctor. Um, and then I figured out who the seer was fairly late into the game. But then once me and him knew, like we kind of knew what was going on, we bodied. But it literally was down to me, him, one other guy, and 2 werewolves. So it was almost,
Wow. Do or
uh,
die.
yeah, it got really close.
How did the environment look like too? Was it like in a single area? Did they move you like
Yeah, they
across?
rented out this gigantic property in Virginia, a town called the Plains, Virginia. They rented out this huge ranch with like a horse track around it. So it was a 4-mile horse track and just gigantic property. And that's where they had the run on. So we did 2 laps around this horse riding track, and then the rest of it was just in like a giant field on the property.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really
And
impressive. And then what was the final game?
So the final games, they had a circle up. There were 18 of us. So my team was the only team of villagers that won, and then the other 2 teams, the werewolves, won.
Wow.
So there were like 4 finalists from the other 2 teams, and then I think my team was like 9 people. So I don't think they were expecting that. But so yeah, there were a ton of us. And then what happened? They had us circle up and do the same voting thing where we had to pick who we would most like to go against and who we would least like to go against. And then they matched up the people who got the most and least votes in order going down. So they had the guy who had the most votes of like, man, most people don't want to compete against this guy, and most people do want to compete against this guy. They had them go together.
And do you know who was who?
Yo, yeah, they told everyone who they were.
Do you
And the
know
guy
what was the
I
number?
was
Were you?
voted as I was like right in the middle because I had the eighth match out of nine finals.
Oh wow.
So I was kind of in the center.
Okay, that's
And
pretty cool.
then the guy who had the least votes actually just bodied the guy who had the most votes. It was pretty wild. Like
Yeah,
that happened and then everyone kind of realized like, oh, we have no idea what's about to happen. It was a cool moment.
that's very
Um
cool.
and then the guy that I got paired up against, his name's August. Really dope guy. We're actually pretty tight now.
I was about to say you
Um,
enemies now with
no, no,
other.
no. Like
Enemies
I
or
have
friends?
mad respect for the guy
Yeah,
because I know that I'm a tough competitor. So if somebody can beat me, I just respect them.
that's dope.
Like just that's how I felt.
I feel that. I feel like if you're a finalist, like, or actually even anyone that's there, right? Like, there be a lot of camaraderie, right?
Oh yeah, I mean if you got to that point where you see like literally almost 1,000 people show up and you're in the top 20, you look around and you see all people that are like, yeah, you're pretty cool. Like,
Yeah, that's really cool.
but so in tug of war, he bunched up the rope and then let go right as we started, and I lost balance.
Oh,
And I have a video of
ooh,
it from an angle where you can really see what he did.
uh-huh.
And I probably have 15 or 20 pounds on August. Like I'm pretty big compared to him.
Strategy though.
Not
I
that he's
like
not
it.
that he's weak or anything. Like
Yeah,
he's a
yeah.
soccer player. I'm sure he works out a ton. But
Mhm.
like,
Different builds.
yeah. And he straight up told me after, he's like, "Yeah, I was pretty sure you were stronger than me, and this was the only way I could have won. And I figured if you did it too, I was gonna lose. This at least gave me 50-50 odds." And I was like, "Respect." And then for the memory tile game, they had a TV set up and it showed a picture of 36 like black and white tiles, and then they had 36 tiles laid out that we would like, flip over to match it. They gave
Oh,
us 15 seconds to look at it and 15 seconds to flip the tiles. I also think very highly of like my memory abilities, and out of everyone there, I got the second highest score of tiles at 30, where everyone else was averaging in between like 10 and like 24. August got 32.
wow.
So had I been
Nice.
paired up against anyone else, I
Yeah.
probably would have won. He
Uh-huh.
was also the only person who thought up of bunching the rope, so like even the organizer Matt was like, "Yeah, you had the hardest finals match."
Wow.
So I was like, "You know what? I'll take it." I kind of like that I had a hard match.
Yes.
It feels cooler that way.
Hmm.
And I'm definitely coming back in September. They're gonna have another one in New York. So
Wow,
I'm coming back to that
September.
with a vengeance.
I gotta train. Like honestly, like the more I hear about this, I'm like, I gotta start working out. Like in, you know,
He's gonna do one in LA probably next summer as well.
we gotta see if we
Which is
can jump in on that.
part of the reason I wanted you to talk to him as well. Because you and
Yes.
Matt have talked a bit now, right?
Yeah, we did. And like honestly, like he's a really good guy. Like I was trying to see if this could be a thing that like we make like actually thing or like if like we like me, Louis and group like we just like work together like on making this a thing, like making this a bigger thing. So because I would love for this to go more places.
Yeah, I think it
Definitely.
has so much growth potential, especially with things like Beast Games and Squid Games rising. Like, we're in kind of like a new era of game shows and events like this
Yes.
that they're getting really popular.
Yeah.
So,
Yep. And then also, we definitely got to talk to you about like what you do and like how I guess like you train for this, like by what you
yeah.
do, right? Like pretty much like doing your Ashman Athletics, like that's what got you like ready to do such a thing like this, right?
Yeah, so main thing I do is the Dragonslayer training, which is great because it really does
That sounds huge.
encompass everything that I kind of stand for as an athlete of just like being able to do weirdly strong and athletic shit. Um, for those who don't know, the Dragon Slayer is a gigantic 20-pound sword that I swing around for a workout. It's something called leverage based strength training, where I'm using not just the amount of weight, but the displacement of weight and the motions I do with it to train strength and throughout the body.
Wow.
And it's great because when you have resistance and when you have weight that's leverage, it taxes the whole body because your whole body needs to maintain tension to do moves. So not just am I training my entire kinetic chain, which is, how energy transfers throughout the body, I'm also exposing weaknesses in it where if I feel like, oh, like my right shoulder felt weak on this swing, now I know this is a weakness that I can isolate and train and then fix going forward. So it's a really great way both to train the entire body and check in on where my body is at.
Wow. How'd you get started with this also? Also, Louis, if you have anything, feel free to jump in.
Yeah, I was gonna ask just quickly, how many pounds does it weigh? Like the base? I know there's weights too to it, but how many pounds
Yeah.
does the base Dragon Slayer weigh?
The full size base one is 20 pounds by itself. I make the minis that start at 10 pounds, and I can add weights to them to take it all the way up to 60 pounds. And I got started in it. So I've been doing martial arts since I was 4, and I've been training with weapons pretty consistently since I was about 15. So when I was 18, I injured my right shoulder in my second MMA fight. I tore my labrum,
Damn.
and I was going through pretty chronic pain and pretty consistent dislocations. So I did physical therapy. I opted not to get surgery. Went through physical therapy and found that like I couldn't really lift as much. However, the movements I was doing with weapons felt really good and were helping to repair my shoulder. So I was training with swords, nunchucks, bow staffs, kind of you name it at the time. And I was getting to a point where it was getting comfortable and I wanted more weight and more resistance. And I was familiar with like things like club swinging and mace training, but I kind of wanted to add my own twist to it. So I started initially by taking 3 baseball bats and doing my Shaolin sword forms while holding 3 baseball bats. And then
Like Zoro or like in one
like in
go?
one hand.
Oh wow.
So I
Okay.
would have to like just be gripping them as well. So that's how I started. And then I shifted to a giant wooden sword in 2019. There was another cosplayer I was friends with in Chicago, like another cosplayer martial artist guy,
Mhm.
who had made one like kind of as like a bit, and I saw it and was like, wait, this is actually like the greatest thing ever, and I took it and ran with it.
Hey.
Upgraded
Perfect
the
timing too.
design, added the adjustable weight system, changed the shape a little bit, and yeah.
That's huge. And
Were there
then
any anime swords that like inspired that?
Oh yeah, so I named it after the Dragonslayer from Berserk. That's what Guts. So Guts' big sword in Berserk is called the Dragonslayer, and that's why I call mine that as well.
Just making sure. I'm like, okay, the Berserk reference.
yeah.
Oh
So
yeah.
do you feel like Guts and also like are you a big Berserk fan too?
Honestly, not as big as I should be, considering that I've built a career around it.
Right. yeah.
I've seen the anime,
Uh-huh. Oh
both of
no.
them.
You gotta read it.
I have not read it yet. I
Yeah, no,
probably
no.
should.
We gotta get you hooked up with the manga for it
Oh
I
cuz
yeah.
have I have the first volume of it.
okay, okay. Okay.
Yeah, my friend Jeff gave it to me.
Oh good man. There we go.
Yeah.
Are you a manga reader at all?
Oh yeah.
Okay, good. I mean,
I'm
yeah, we talked about One Piece, yeah.
just about up to date on One Piece.
Yeah.
Probably a chapter or two behind on Hajime no Ippo, up to date on the Kengan series, Kengan Ashura, Kengan Omega, One Punch Man. I've read
Yeah, banger.
basically all of the Baki series. There's a
Tom,
bunch of manga that are just like finished that I've read, like Toph or Shoot Fighter Tekken, one of my favorites. A lot of fighting manga, a lot of training manga, definitely.
Earlier you mentioned martial arts. Can you give me some of that? Because I heard MMA and then I heard like some Shaolin training.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's really cool.
so I started karate when I was 4. I did Shotokan and Shidokan
Nice.
karate.
I did Shotokan karate like in college for like 4 or 5
Yeah.
years.
So I did that growing up, and then I bounced around martial arts for a while as like a young teenager. Studied Krav Maga, wrestling, boxing, just nothing super consistently. Got back into karate when I was like 15, and then I got into kung fu when I was 17, and then got really into jujitsu at like what was I like probably like 18 or 19 when I got into jujitsu. So I did my first 2 MMA fights with just kung fu and no jujitsu, which looking back on, not the smartest move.
Got taken down.
Yeah, I won my first fight. I actually knocked the guy out off my back,
Oh wow.
which
Like punching?
like yeah, no, like he
Wow.
was on top of me and I put my hand under his chin and I popped my body
Hey, perfect.
and it worked, which still looking at it as a martial artist, I'm like, yeah, that's probably a fluke and not a strategy I should rely on. But
yeah.
it was cool that it happened.
Yeah.
Have you two sparred yet?
Me and
Me?
Goswell?
No,
Yeah.
not
No,
at all.
dude, we haven't. That's crazy.
I mean, I would
Come on,
not
let's
say
do
I'm in
something.
sparring shape to do that, to be honest. Like, I mean, hey, go light, please, like, and also, like,
Oh yeah,
I feel like I gotta take some Dragonslayer courses under you, honestly, like, see how that goes.
dude, of course.
dude. So like, what got you even into martial arts like that, and like to keep going with it? Like, was it family, or was it like you, or was it even like, I guess media, entertainment like that?
As a kid, it was definitely family. As I got older, it was a combination of, you know, inspiration from media and also just like the way my life progressed. My struggles with like depression and mental health, my struggles with like fitting in socially, getting bullied growing up definitely
Mm.
gave me like a pretty big push to pursue martial arts and ended up being like one of the most positive things I could have done with my time. And I mean, I'm still reaping the rewards from spending all those years training and studying. So, yeah.
I love that. Do you have any favorite martial artists yourself?
Favorite martial artists? Oh God. I mean, Bruce Lee, always, he's the GOAT. Um, for like, I feel like I have to split that between like movie martial artists and also
Yeah,
MMA fighters.
which I think is fair. Yeah.
Please. Yeah.
So like, as far as like movies, Bruce Lee, Tony Jaa, I think
Mm.
has some of the coolest choreo. Um, Donnie Yen as well.
Yeah.
Are probably my top three. Um, and then for like fighters, Kung Lee has like my favorite MMA style. I would love the way he would just walk people down with kicks.
Mm.
Um, Mystic Mac, Conor McGregor, I think is the greatest striker we will ever see.
Wow.
And
Ever.
like, not a huge fan of him,
Yeah. Personally.
but like that run he had as the Mystic Mac up until like probably around like the Eddie Alvarez fight.
Yeah.
After that, like I mean, it was as a striker and like old style martial artist myself, watching those fights was like, dude, it was like watching Ultra Instinct. It was unbelievable.
Yeah. And
Um,
you brought charisma with it too.
yeah, it was incredible
Yeah.
seeing that run. And then I really like Boss Rutan too, man. He was a beast.
Yeah. Wow. Power.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Also, I like just as you brought up movie guys, I was like, have you seen The Raid Redemption?
No, I haven't seen the raid. I know I need to. That's
Yeah, Ikuoi. Yeah.
Go why, yeah.
Yeah. But like some of the best fight choreography I'd ever seen. Have you seen it, Louis?
I have not. I
He
have not.
uses Silat,
We
right?
got we gotta do movie night soon. Like
Good.
I've been wanting to do martial arts movie nights. I've been wanting to do like Sammo Hung. Yeah, just like there's
Dude,
this like
that's cool.
I gotta see like more of his movies. But then it looks like I need to do a raid movie night because honestly, my favorite martial arts movie or action movie, honestly, of all time.
Really? Okay.
Yes, yeah,
All right.
super random. So yeah.
Let's
Um,
do it.
so I gotta ask also, like, I guess, like, are you big like into dieting and like keeping healthy like that too?
I'm pretty strict on nutrition, yeah.
Okay, cool, cool. How does your nutrition and do you even have any cheat days? Look, how does that look like?
I cheat actually pretty consistently. I'm very blessed to have a lightning metabolism, and I am taking full advantage of it until it wears off.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
I
yeah.
know it will
Live
one day.
life,
I'm like, yeah.
Hey, we all get old eventually, right?
But yeah, right now the main thing for me is to stick to just an if it fits my macros. So I just prioritize getting very high protein, keeping carbs and fats to just an estimated low. Um, and then beyond that, as long as I'm averaging less than like 3,500 calories a day, I'm usually just able to eat whatever. So long as I'm getting at least, about 200 grams of protein per day.
Wow,
I really
200
only
grams.
keep myself to that strictness. Beyond that, though, it's important to focus on getting real foods as opposed to like highly processed, high ingredient foods. So, when I'm eating, I usually focus on like high quality grass fed ground beefs or bison or venison, grass fed steaks, um, again, beef, bison, or venison. For rice, focus on brown rice, wild rice, things like that. For pasta, get organic, just higher quality ingredients. There's a lot of people who say it doesn't make a difference. I really do notice a difference in how I feel based on what I'm eating. The whole like avoid seed oils thing. I subscribe to that pretty hard, and I have noticed a difference in my energy
Mm,
levels
I haven't
off of
heard about
that.
the seed oils thing.
Yeah, so there's a whole category of foods called seed oils, and it ranges things like canola oil, sunflower seed oil, etc. It's used in most food in America, and it's honestly kind of just waste product that's like used as a fat, and it's very gross when you look at the process of how they make it because they like, they're pressing it out of these seeds, then boiling it, then bleaching it, then boiling it again, then running it through machines, and it's like eventually, they just have like this like paste, and it's nasty when you actually think about it. So for fats and like cooking oils and things like that, I stick to grass-fed butter, ghee, olive oil. When I'm using pastas, I don't fry in olive oil, coconut oil, avocado oil. So I kind of like limit myself to like those things. And I also don't drink alcohol, which I think just people don't realize how much their quality of life will just improve by cutting alcohol because you're just microdosing poison when you drink. Like that's really what you're doing.
Yeah.
So,
You're not wrong. Like you're not wrong, and especially I guess like how like our culture is. I mean, hey, I'm not a saint. I drink, yeah, but at the same time, yeah, like the culture like really like enables people to go really hard, yeah, like into. I mean, I worry about like how often we all drink, like and
yeah.
myself included. So yeah, like I'm trying to take more breaks this year actually.
Yeah, and like you'll notice like it's pretty normal for people to have like anywhere from like 1 to 10 drinks per week as a cultural norm. And you don't realize like if you're doing that, if you every Friday, Saturday night have like 5, 6 drinks, if you're a guy my size where I'm like 185 pounds and I can have 5, 6 drinks and not be hammered. I'll be drunk, but like, I can do that even without drinking for almost a year and a half now. I could still probably do that, but I would know like the next day, probably the next 36 hours, I'm just going to be a little woozy, not as sharp, just less functional. And when you remove that space from your life and don't force yourself to function when you're poisoned, you're just better at everything.
That's a great
You
point.
Yeah.
recover faster, you build muscle easier, your metabolism speeds up. It's also a lot of empty calories, which opens up room for more cheat meals. I really love ice cream. And
Yeah, I was just about to ask,
a
like, what
year
is
and
your
a half
cheat meal?
ago, so a year and a half ago when I decided to stop drinking, part of the equation in my head was like, okay, if I'm allowing myself anywhere from like, you know, now that I'm cutting, I'm down below 3,500. When I was bulking, I was at like 4,000. If I'm allowing myself, like a limit of 4,000 calories a day, do I want to fill that space with alcohol or do I want to fill that space with ice cream? And
Hey,
I like ice cream more, man. I would rather sit on my ass and watch anime and eat ice cream than go out and drink. So,
love that. What's your favorite flavor?
dude, Trader Joe's cookie butter, man, that is a hard flavor to beat. I like mint chocolate chip too.
Hey, another mint chocolate
So,
fan.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think those two are definitely like top tier. Chocolate chip cookie dough, cookies and cream. If you can get your hands on Biscoff flavored ice cream, oh my God. Um,
Delta's made me a fan of Biscoff.
dude, flying back and forth to Chicago as much as I do, and just like getting free Biscoff cookies on flights did wonders for me.
Got my
I,
Biscoff cookie right here, actually.
oh, I try to
Dude, that's
avoid like the
awesome.
slop, but
Oh man.
if you did have to choose like a cheat meal, like other than ice cream, like what can some people like indulge in, or what would you
Dude, I'll
indulge in
show you. I'm gonna
for a
grab
cheat
them.
meal?
Oh, okay.
On hand. Wow. I
Looking
would
at
go
it, staring
for
at
me
it.
real quick. I'm gonna
Yeah.
say mine. It's a Western bacon.
Western bacon.
A Western bacon from Carl's Jr.
Oh, okay. Wow. Carl's Jr. fan too,
Oh,
huh?
that's savory. That's
Wow.
good. Okay, these
Ooh,
meringues from Trader
meringue.
Joe's. These are hacks because the serving size is 4 of them, and it's only 90 calories.
Oh
And
wow.
the macros on this are because all it is, it's sugar, egg whites, and vanilla. That's all it is. It's just whipped egg whites and sugar and vanilla. It's a ton of sugar, but it's super low calorie and mostly air. Like they kind of have a chalky texture,
Hmm.
but like I will make this disappear.
How much
And like
protein
I'll
is in the
make
serving?
Keeping it
well,
real.
it's 1 gram of protein, to 21 grams of sugar
That's all right.
and 90 calories.
Wow. Still working
And
out.
yeah, and 7 servings per container, so 90 times 7, 560 calories. It's, also 147 grams of sugar, which is ridiculous, but
Yeah, don't eat all
yeah,
at once,
I,
right?
I'll go through like 2 of these a week.
Wow.
Nice.
And yeah.
Dang, that's pretty good. Louis said like his was a Western bacon from Carl's Jr.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
I'm thinking like, what is mine? 'Cause right now, at least I feel lucky enough that I'm not like having to count calories like that. At least that's not my goal just at the moment. But um, at the same time, I guess like if there's something I indulge in, um, I mean, right now, Fig Newton cookies, like my jam right now. So
Sounds
that's
good.
hilarious.
Dude, pitted dates. You ever get into
Ooh,
those?
yes.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Like Medjool dates.
yeah, yeah. I got mine with a pit, but at the same
Yeah.
time, I should do the pitted ones. That's a
The
great idea.
pitted is nice because you don't even have to think about it.
Yes, just bam.
Open it, and like 10 minutes later, you're like, oh my God, where'd all these dates go?
Yeah, I think like maybe like it's good I got the pit so I have some sort of control myself, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like shelled pistachios. Have you ever had shelled pistachios?
Ooh, yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
They vanish.
Oh, yeah.
That's
It's
why I
like,
don't go for the unshelled ones. I'm just sort of like that's just too easy. You gotta like this is too good, you know? Ooh,
yeah.
especially if they got the flavorings on them.
Oh my God.
Oh man, now
Yeah.
you got me going. So I did want to ask you, are there any Swole anime characters that get you inspired and get you to be like their physique?
Dude, most recently, not the Swole's character, but solo leveling, actually. That did
Mm.
wonders for
Sung
me.
Jin Woo, huh?
It was all aura farming from Sung Jin Woo, but it was great. Um,
Come a
growing
little
up,
late, you know, and
growing up, definitely like Goku and Gohan,
hmm
Baki, the Kengan series, Zoro. Those are probably my biggest ones. Um,
I like it.
If you had to choose
I don't
one, who would it be? Like out of all
one
the
character
Swoles.
that
Yeah,
I'm
all the
like, this
Swoles.
is the person who like inspired me was probably Baki,
Wow.
I think, because Baki was like the one that got most in depth and like attainable skill based. And that's one of the things I really liked about Baki. It was well written enough that like you could just almost believe that it was possible.
Yeah. Like the
Like
crazy I mean, maybe not move your brain in your head, right? But
yeah,
maybe
but
not,
like,
yeah.
the calisthenics he was doing and like the way he would move and the way Keisuke Itadaki can draw gesture
Yeah.
make it look so real. And I don't really think any other anime or manga has captured that since. The closest to capture it is probably Kengan,
Mm.
but Baki really did innovate martial arts manga.
What'd you think of like the Baki and the Kengan
Oh, the
collaboration?
collab, yeah.
It was cool. It wasn't like groundbreaking, but like yeah, for I didn't regret 90 minutes of my life that I spent watching it. I was like, yeah, this is it's exactly what it said on the label. In reality, Baki would absolutely smoke Oma, and it wouldn't even be close. And Yujiro would smoke Kuroshi Genkai or Kuroki. Yeah, like it wouldn't even be close, like where the power scaling is. But it was cool.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Those are some great takes right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, I got play a game with you. We're trying this with like all of our guests right here. So thinking like do a swordsman 1v1. All right.
Ooh,
Yeah, so let's see what you think. So Tanjiro versus Aaron, who'd win? Just in swords.
Aaron Yeager,
Yes.
probably Tanjiro, man.
Yeah, yeah.
We're
Okay.
not we're not saying Aaron can like
Yeah,
right.
no, yeah, I can't do that. Just using
I think
the
Tanjiro would kind of smoke him. Like the level that Demon Slayers are on is pretty wild.
yeah, that I mean that breathing form, right? All right. Tanjiro versus Kenshin from Rurouni Kenshin.
I haven't seen Rurouni Kenshin.
Oh
Can't speak.
man, the classics. The recipes are being missing. All right, all right. How about Tanjiro versus Zoro from One Piece?
Zoro, dude,
Okay,
Zoro's like you can cut mountains in half.
I know, honestly.
That's broken. You could say like at which point in One Piece did Zoro surpass any other like anime for sure?
Yeah,
Like Probably
Like what point?
like Tanjiro probably could have like fought
Like pre-time skip?
Alabasta Zoro.
Yeah.
They
Hmm.
probably could have fought. I still think Zoro would have won, but like that's kind of where it was even.
Yeah.
Puts up a
Like,
fight.
because also low key, I feel like Zoro is more willing to kill than Tanjiro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree
I
with
don't
you.
know. Tanjiro doesn't hesitate, man. He's
Which I appreciate. I'm
yeah.
glad that like he's not like, oh no, this demon, was a child once. He's just like, I gotta cut him off.
But like even like Water 7 Zoro
Yeah.
was like
At that point, yeah, it was pretty cold. Yeah, shooting like the Phoenix, the 36-pound
yeah,
Phoenix set. Yeah, right. Okay. What about Zoro versus Kirito from Sword Art Online?
Zoro. Come on.
Yeah, yeah.
Dude.
How about
I
Zoro versus
that's
Griffith? I mean, honestly, I agree. I forgot, like unless you put Zoro in the game, and even then,
Zoro would smoke Griffith, honestly.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
even like Demon Griffith, the level Zoro's at right now is a level where like he could be where Guts was
Mm.
when all the demons came and Zoro would have been like, all right, this is another day at work.
Yeah, yeah. Another day. Yeah.
Zoro beat a literal humanoid mountain. Like, come on.
Honestly, it was like, oh, no, we got some more. We got some more. How about Zoro versus Sephiroth?
Zoro.
Yeah, yeah, okay. Zoro versus Whitebeard.
Which Whitebeard?
I'm thinking at the end of Marineford, but not the like stabbed and shot one. So like at the beginning of the fight,
I don't
he
know.
still has his like respirator, but like he's not.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
Whitebeard still had some serious Conqueror's hockey, and
yeah. And I'm
also,
thinking like can't use his devil fruit, but like would just be going at it with his
oh, he
his
can't use
spear.
his double fruit.
I would say no devil fruit.
Probably Zoro.
Wow.
Okay,
I think
okay.
I think the three
Because
swords
also
battle.
I'm thinking like Zoro at that time, like
Oh, Zoro at that time, Whitebeard.
yeah, yeah,
I think current Zoro
yeah.
versus like old Whitebeard.
Actually, no. Let's do current Zoro versus
Old
Whitebeard.
Whitebeard and
Yeah,
Yeah,
Whitebeard
old Whitebeard.
can't use the Earthquake fruit.
yeah.
I give it to Zoro.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. How about Zoro versus Guts?
Zoro.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
That's
was thinking the
not
same
even
thing too.
close.
Zoro versus Musashi from Vagabond.
Zoro.
Yeah, that's like poor Musashi.
Once you
Hey.
put Zoro in, you kind of have to power scale either directly to Naruto, directly to Bleach, or directly to like Gohan training with the Z Sword or Trunks.
How
Like,
about yeah? I guess how about Zoro versus? I feel like Ichigo would be cheating. Yeah, how about Zoro versus Ichigo?
ooh, which Ichigo?
How about Ichigo?
Current Ichigo? Because holy shit,
I
dude.
know, right? I was like, does that seem fair at all? How about Ichigo at the end of I mean even like that final Getsuga Tensho is like a lot. Um how about like when he first gets Bankai?
I
First
think
gets Bankai?
single Bankai Zoro could still pull through.
Yeah.
Um, but that's probably where it starts to get
Yeah, the
close.
limit. Yeah, I agree with you. Ooh. What do you think, Louis?
Man, I think yeah the power scaling there it's a little rough.
Yeah.
Honestly, I would have thought Sephiroth.
Yeah.
Really
Yeah.
I personally thought Sephiroth too, actually. Like,
interesting.
yeah, because I just feel like Sephiroth's just so fast. And I guess like to finish it off, like Zoro versus Cloud.
Zoro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, honestly, like I feel you with Zoro. Like I chose Sephiroth because I just see him like so fast and like willing to like stab. Like I don't know. But then again, also I'm thinking like his other powers versus just like as a swords person. So
Yeah.
love these answers though. Like I was like gotta do the sword comparison. So Louis, what are you thinking? Also,
I'm thinking I was looking earlier on your Instagram page. How long did it take you to make the Buster Sword?
Which one? Just
The
like the Buster Sword replica?
Yeah, the Buster Sword replica.
I could whip that up in a few days.
wow.
Is
How
it
long
like
did it
I
take you at the
made
beginning?
20 something of them now.
Yeah. How long did it take you in the beginning to
Like a few
start making
days.
these? 2 days.
No, like a few days of making them.
Okay.
Like I can now so I don't manufacture the swords anymore. I have a manufacturer outside of Chicago who makes them for me.
Nice.
So we make them in batches. I could make a batch just myself. I can make a batch of like 30 something swords in probably like 4 days working
Wow.
full time.
Whoa.
And then making them is not even like the worst part. The hardest part, in my opinion, is packaging them.
I was about to say, I was like, how's the transport for that?
Now I have custom boxes that I order as well, which helps a ton. So that process has been pretty streamlined. But yeah, it's like I have a few custom swords I'm working on my patio. I did like a 2 hour live stream earlier where I was just like sanding them down. But yeah, it's making like a nice Buster Sword replica. I can usually do two in like 2 or 3 days. I should probably do like four in like 2 or 3 days because I'll make them at the same time where I'll cut up the shapes out, then I'll route the edges down, then I'll drill the holes, then I'll sand them all, and like each of that as sections will take a few days.
I like that. I
And
like
yeah,
Wow. I mean, you got it down to a craft. I love that. And then, of course, I told you we always go back to One Piece.
Yeah.
First off, like, also, do you watch the anime too?
I haven't watched the anime since the Whole Cake Island arc.
Okay. Oh
When they
man,
cut the animation budget on that, and
they
it was
brought
a puppet
they
show, I just
near doubled and tripled it. Honestly, at this point,
yeah.
yeah, like you definitely at least watch the episode Fan Letter. Like that's a joy to watch.
Okay.
But
I watched the fights from Wano. I just YouTubed them after.
that's super fair. Like you read
Yeah.
it, so like you're with it. But
Reading's
definitely
the way.
watch the Fan Letter episode. Like that might make you come back to the
Okay.
anime. But I mean, yeah. So at least with the manga, like, you're caught up in everything. What'd you think about like Egghead?
Dude, it was pretty wild. Like, I'm still kind of like, wow, like, it really shifted everything we thought we knew about the One Piece world,
Mm-hmm.
all changed. So it's like, yeah, the world is sinking. Um, Ideas about the three legendary weapons are starting to be narrowed down a lot, where
Yeah.
it's like, okay, not just do these weapons definitely exist, they were used and arguably reset the world to what it is now. Um, and also like, I mean, everything about Nika just being dropped.
Whew, like the mural, right? Like on
Yeah,
Elbaf,
I mean,
right?
well, the mural, I mean, that's not even Egghead anymore. That's what are we on?
Like one one
We should have put like a
four
spoiler
eight.
tag too right
I know,
before
right?
this.
I
Like
know, right?
getting
Like
into
I'm trying to.
spoilers.
I know, like I like.
If
Although,
they're
like I think you're doing a good job of like
Yeah,
not being
if you're
too
watching the
direct.
anime,
Yeah.
and not reading the manga, we're about to get into spoiler territory.
Yeah, although yeah, with the anime they just actually just talked about the weapons.
Yeah,
Yeah,
are they
so
on Elbaf in the anime yet?
no, they're in Egghead. Like
They're
so,
still on
yeah,
Egghead.
they're
Okay,
about to do
so
the Kuma backstory in a little bit.
did the Elder already arrive?
Not yet.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
so
Like right now, like they
right
just did
now,
a
this is
flashback.
the line of spoiler territory. If you care, stop or fast
Yeah,
forward.
it's it's
Um,
it's a
uh,
great time to be caught up. Honestly, I keep telling people is like now's the time to get caught up because like I get it, like oh when it's all done, just catch up, binge it. But I'm just like I don't know. I'm having like so much fun
yeah.
learning about it as we go.
So I think everything of like explaining both how powerful the five elders are and also how powerful Emu is, I
Yeah.
think there is some implication that Emu is immortal,
Hmm.
that the elders are all well over 200 years old.
Yes.
That,
At
that's
least.
expressed. So there's a level of immortality to them as well. But also that Emu can just instantly kill an elder remotely.
Oh yeah,
And
that
grant
part.
someone else elder status is really interesting too.
Whew.
Also,
Holy
this
knights.
this pentagram teleportation system. There's a lot of questions about, whatever that is, what's powering that, if that's a devil fruit, if it's something else.
I
Um,
also got to say, like, I keep thinking, like, I wonder what type of allegories this is to, like, the real world. Is like, is
oh,
everyone in the government, in the real government, just
it,
able to do satanic,
It
yeah,
looks
I
like
mean,
satanic
it.
I think
rituals?
One
And
Piece is fantastic about like real world allegories. Like,
yeah,
you look at, how do characters like, the Wano's a great story because in a lot of ways it's kind of like North Korea,
mm,
where it's like you have this country that's like shut down trade, or I mean, even feudal Japan is like that too. But you have this country that is shut down trade, tyrannical leader that is hoarding all the wealth,
uh-oh,
and
Oh,
and then you have Big Mom, which is, how would I describe it? Whole Cake Island felt kind of like, I guess, kind of like London, where you kind of have like, for the citizens there, it's kind of this like liberal dystopia where like everyone's welcome in Whole Cake Island, but you have to pay your taxes. What are your taxes? It's a tenth of your lifespan in your soul. That's a
mhm.
weird deal to live in like this, like, yeah, we're this like diverse, welcoming country, happy, la la, but it's like there's like secretly like really dark shit going on. So that's kind of like this neoliberal dystopia.
Yeah, yeah,
And then you have like, the world government, which I think most comparable to just the American empire.
yeah.
With, you know, some,
Oh,
some very powerful families at the top of it.
let's
Rothschilds.
go. Yeah,
I just keep
true
popping
celestial
their
dragons right here. Yeah, golly. Like everyone that keeps thinking that like One Piece is just for kids or whatever is just sort of like, I don't know. Like it feels like more direct to the real world than like most other titles, honestly,
Oh yeah, no,
especially shonen titles.
and it's done so in a really great way, like especially like with the fishmen
Yeah,
and like their struggle for equality and like oppression, and like it does a really good job of like explaining why things are the way they are now,
yeah.
and actually having like a good amount of nuance to it. Because like if you're just dropped off in the One Piece world, like we all are, you don't have a scope of the history. So you're learning the history
Yeah,
of
of the
why there are
world.
these broken systems and
Mhm.
countries and pirate groups and people who are behaving in ways they are, and it makes sense. Like it's really rare that there's a character in One Piece that's just like really fucking evil with no explanation. It's like, oh, here's their backstory and why they're like this. I mean, with the
Yes.
exception of like Blackbeard, he's just
We don't even know his backstory yet. Like
Yeah.
honestly, his backstory is gonna be one of the biggest mysteries, honestly.
yeah. And like One Piece also, I mean, it covers the topic of genocide really well.
Yeah.
Where it's like, you have the Lunarian genocide, the Buccaneer genocide.
Oof, yeah.
Um,
O'Hara, or was a group, Robin's people,
yeah,
right?
the
Yep.
Yeah.
Oharans,
Yeah.
like, so it's like they actually do cover like really rough topics like that,
Yeah.
and do so in a way where it's like, I mean, you could teach a child that story, and also as an adult, you can watch that and be like, wow, that's real. Like,
Yeah.
I think a
Oh
lot of
yeah.
people just grew up with it. Like for me, this is kind of a hot take too. I actually like the Four Kids One Piece because I grew
Yeah.
up. I was actually like a young kid watching it, and
Hey
then
man,
I got
don't
to
give it up,
get into like
Louie.
the main content, and
yeah,
it gets a lot darker. Of course,
Mhm.
it was already gritty at the start, but that was my first introduction. So
Yeah, one thing I have been saying is like I miss like the sort of fun, goofy times that they used to have.
mhm.
yeah.
Although yeah, right now it's just now no time. It's just like
Well,
okay,
that's
we're adults.
kind of why
Yeah,
it's a coming of age story too, because you
Yeah,
see Luffy
definitely.
as this character who's actually like very sheltered from the world. Like he grows up
I
on
guess
a
like where he
rural
grows up.
island in
Yeah,
East
Mhm.
Blue in the middle of nowhere in the mountains with his brother and his grandpa who like comes and visits him in between going on missions. While this is happening, this one random pirate comes by and influences him, who turns out to be, red-haired Shanks, who is actually, extremely
one of
important.
the
But like,
biggest. Yeah.
Luffy's going through the Grand Line, like knowing nothing about it, and meeting these other pirates like Law and Kid, and
They've
uh,
had horrible backstories, or
but
like oh yeah, like horrible lives leading up to
they've
like where they are.
lived in the Grand Line
Yeah,
for a lot of their life, so they like see the stuff that's happening, and when you're completely sheltered from it, you don't get it. And I think the cool thing about One Piece is, he's going to these islands that are ruled by pirates, but it's like there's thousands and thousands of citizens on all these islands. Like when Dressrosa happens, it's like, you know, millions of people's lives are at stake. I don't know, millions, but like thousands of
yeah,
people's lives are at stake.
large, huge number. Yeah,
And
whole
they're
kingdoms worth.
like born and raised there. Same with Alabasta and stuff. It's like these are these people's homes that he's just like showing up to,
Wow.
knowing very little about the environment, about the people, about their history, and having to learn and adapt, improvise a plan, and operate on the spot. which is really cool.
Wait, Tom, what's your favorite arc?
Ooh.
We had to ask this every time.
Yeah.
I felt like I should have done that at the beginning.
Also, I love how you're breaking it down. It's things like I'm aware of too in the One Piece world, but also seeing even more so. Like I love that. Like I didn't even realize. Like, oh yeah, they talked about genocide more than 3 times at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, probably Alabasta.
That's dope.
Alabasta was just so good.
Yeah.
I don't think the series peaked at
Yeah,
Alabasta.
yeah. But it's
Like,
like your favorite arc, huh?
but Alabasta is just such a cool arc, and I enjoyed the hand drawn art style,
Yeah. I
and I
missed
think
that.
that's kind of where it was like really cool. Um, there's just something about like it really shows Luffy's character and the whole crew's character in like a very conceivable way in Alabasta. Helps that it is kind of a mirrored story to one of my favorite movies, which is The Dark Knight Rises.
Mm.
Which,
Also, I have to say, like, you remember with Pell, all right?
yeah,
Yeah, I remember. You remember like the last Dark Knight Rises movie?
yeah.
Like, I remember like I just saw Pell, like I just finished Alabasta right before I saw the third Dark Knight movie, and then I was like, wait a second, this is happening again. This is happening again.
Really, it's the same story. It's okay. You have this like Crocodile is Bane,
Mm,
Robin is Talia al Ghul, Luffy's Batman. Like it's literally like okay, he defeats him and throws him in the pit to
yes.
die. He escapes from the pit, comes back, fights him during the war for this city. It's the same plot, and Christopher Nolan got away with it. Props to him, but
He
Blew my
did
mind.
it again because didn't he do Inception based off of Paprika?
Paprika,
Oh
yeah.
my
Yes.
gosh, yeah, that's crazy. And then I feel like he did
Christopher
another
Nolan has a
movie.
secret weeaboo.
Oh my God, we're onto something here.
It was a secret.
Dude, I gotta bring you back on again, like especially to talk more One Piece. But at the same time, absolutely adored this. You got me excited. I gotta start working out right now for the next exam, Hunter exam, because
Running and sprinting are the big things. Running, sprinting, and like agility stuff are the big things.
then
So, how far are you from like Diamond Bar? You're probably like 40 minutes ish.
let me check. Yeah,
Check
'cause I
that
don't go
out.
outside as much. I
Well,
need to go outside more.
While you
There's
do
a
that,
there's a
God's
ninja.
will, I was gonna say, Tom, what's your split like so people can maybe just get started?
Um, I kind of switch between like for lifting, I do kind of a bro split. Um, so I'll usually do either a bro split or a PPL. And then on my days that I'm not lifting, I try to do distance running at least twice a week and sprinting at least once a week. And then also just general agility movement training, whether that's like swinging weapons around, monkey bars, cartwheels, kip ups, martial arts. Just a lot of it is just being good at moving and being athletic, which isn't really lifting. So mixing both of those up is key.
I dig that.
So,
I mean, I like to do like a calisthenics,
yeah.
honestly, like as I work out, and yeah, like I've always wanted to do like a ninja warrior course, like all the way through. So
Movement Lab, I believe the gym is called, and Diamond Bar is probably the closest ninja gym to you.
okay,
They just opened up another ninja gym in Culver City.
mm,
That's in
yeah,
LA.
a distance, yeah,
Uh,
but
and that's Los Angeles Ninja Academy.
okay, yeah,
And
I'm
then
like 40
also,
minutes from Diamond Bar, so that's
that
possible.
would be the spot I would go for ninja training. Um, and yeah.
I'm gonna take you up on that for sure.
Let's do a
Like,
session.
dude, thank you so much. Like
Yeah, of
I'm
course.
so hype, and like also thank you so much for connecting me with those brothers too. Like I would love to do
Dude,
something
they're
with them.
great.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, they're cool guys. Like
Yeah.
so, we're just trying to see like how far this can go without potentially stopping things. I guess you know. But
Yeah, of course.
yeah. But dude, honestly, absolutely a pleasure. Like I gotta also like just start like going with the Dragon Slayer. Like I gotta see like how that
I'll bring
goes.
them. When you have the movie net, I'll bring them by.
Hype,
All
hype,
right, right
hype,
on. We'll record it.
dude. And also, where can people find you?
You can find me at Tommy Ashman on YouTube and TikTok and at Ashman Athletics on Instagram. If you want to get a Dragon Slayer, it'll be on ashmanathletics.com. And yeah,
Dude, thank you so much. Absolute pleasure. I gotta have you back on because I'm gonna talk more One Piece soon. I'm thinking I just gotta get like a whole cadre of people were caught up in One Piece, and we just gotta like talk. No structure. Let's go.
Oh, that'll be great.
Yes. So.
Roundtable discussion.
Yep. Yep.
Yes, sir.
Call it the Grand Reverie.
Ooh. Yes. Let's bring it. Let's bring it up. Let's go. Hopefully, no one dies.
Sweet. Well, Godswell,
Yes.
thanks again for having me. Lewis,
Absolute
great
pleasure.
meeting you.
Nice
Yeah.
meeting you, Tommy.
And
Definitely.
yeah, I'll talk to you guys soon.
Sounds great. And everyone that listened all the way, appreciate you. Make sure you like, subscribe, share this with your friends. As always, stay good, y'all. Peace.